Everyone's DNA is a life song. Music is in all cultures. Music is there to heal, connecting us to our soul. Once our souls are activated, we become awake. I feel our sole purpose is to give back and nurture the true creation that's inside and outside of us all. This story is a vision to share our seeds, to share our songs, to share our food from the garden as we grow.
Hi there, my name is Robert McLean. I'm a musician, a singer-songwriter. I do recording, performing in the Calgary Transit LRT stations. And I love writing songs and organic gardening. And I'm also a dad. And this is my story. I used to always admire music since I was 9 years old. And I always was writing songs in my head, and I played in a bunch of bands and stuff, and I found it was really easy for me as a street musician to make a living for myself, because I can just go out and I can just sing whatever's on the top of my head. It didn't matter what genre of music it was, and it worked out really good. So what happened is we had to audition to get into the Calgary Transit and convince the city it was a good idea for musicians to play. And I was very, I felt honored to be part of it, and I just kept doing it and making a living like that. I like to play music in the mornings because I like to get up at 3 a.m. and it gives me a chance to do my breathing and sit in a hot tub and warm up my vocals. And I practice the guitar a little bit, and then I go down to the stations and I get to sing in front of the working audience. And for me, it's the same as if you're listening to the radio in your car, but I'm not on the radio. So people that are, conscious about the earth and like to take the train, they get to listen to my music. I get to share what we're doing in the garden and share how I feel about family and share how I believe in the creation, of the great mother, the great father. And I get to have peace at sharing things like grace and love, which we don't get to do a lot in our society today. And then being able to share that in a song, like it's a celebration. Where I'm playing the music, I'm just sitting down and being passive. And it's different than playing on a stage when you have people coming to see you, and there's different types of musical genres that I play, and there's different types of emotions that resonate. But usually a lot of those people come back and they take off their earbuds and give me a thumbs up, so it's cool. So you've seen upstairs, and just along here if you come this way, This is like kind of a sacred space. I do a lot of my songwriting in here, and I work out a lot of my vocals in this room because I find I'm away from my amplifier and I can just sing the songs. But most of my songs were written here in Alberta and in this room and from in here, from my heart.
The next somerset rendezvous train will arrive in 7 minutes.
So this is my busking list of my song, and this is how many songs I've written in the tuning of 440. There's 253 in 440. When my dad used to play me old 70s rock records, I would hear acoustic and electric mixed. And it's always been my favorite to hear guitar orchestras. Like in my head, I always thought guitar should be played like an orchestra. Get a lot of these notes, eh? It says, "Dear sir, thank you for making the world a little brighter with your music. It truly warms my heart. Gnarly picking too. Rock on." From camp. Pretty cool.
Bring back the earth, bring back our sky, bring back our people, to bring back our tribes. Bring back the earth, bring back our sky, bring back our family in our children's life. Before it's over,
say hi.
That's good.
Because I always wanted family, and I wanted that experience.
Who would have thought that a dusty old horse corral located on a windy hill in northwest Airdrie could become a garden capable of nourishing a family of 4 for over 15 years? My husband Robert, our first son Sage, and I arrived at our homestead with high hopes. If someone would have told me when we first arrived that we would one day have the abundant food forest we enjoy today, I would have told them they were mad. However, that is exactly what happened. Planting seeds enabled our family to take root and create something out of nothing. Prior to this, Robert and I had been working together on the beautiful and bountiful farms in Okanagan, BC. Eventually, we were given an opportunity to be stewards of our own land in Alberta. The first year, a neighbor helped us break up the land, and every year after, we gardened organically by hand. We faced many challenges. Some were short growing seasons, lack of resources, hail and weather anomalies, pests and predators. As the garden grew, our family grew too. Our second son, Jaden, was born 3 years later, and we all continued to grow with the garden. We still garden together as a family, just as our ancestors did. For my husband and I, some of our fondest childhood memories are gardening with our grandparents and parents. Our parents continued this gardening tradition with us, and we feel such gratitude to be able to partake in this practice with our own children. It has really come full circle. And this is the introduction to our gardening book. I'm Lorraine Hansen, and I grew up just miles down the road on a small farm northwest of Airdrie, and said I'd never be back. And here I am, back on a homestead northwest of Airdrie today. And our first son was conceived in BC, and so that changed everything. The experience of pregnancy was where I first realized how, oh my goodness, everything that I take in my body is affecting another life. And so I became very conscious of the health and the food and my connection to it, and how it's affecting not only my body, but the body of my unborn infant. And I really wish that everyone could feel that same connection that I felt in pregnancy, because they would realize the importance of the...
Right here's the 2024 journal, and usually I do a live narrative with video. So basically we started out, and it's looking at the garden and seeing what came up naturally after the snow. So we saw a lot of nettle, we saw a lot of clover, we saw lamb's quarter, we saw chamomile, we saw spinach. So we already knew that we had those plants established. And we saw second year of carrots with the seeds. So it was kind of like saving and maintaining and preparing the soil.
We began, as we usually do, with seedlings in our house. Like, so we start our own tomatoes, and we start some marigolds to keep some bugs away and add beauty. And we started our pumpkins and things like that just on the shelf, because it's still too cold to take them outside at this point. But we start to get our itch around May to start gardening. So we start with the seedlings, and then by the end of May, we're usually, like even May long weekend, we're usually able to start planting seeds into the ground. So in between the beginning and end of May, because we have such a short window for our gardening in Canada, we're preparing by putting up like nets to keep the deer and other predators out, and bringing in some compost to areas so that the soil integrity is maintained properly from our composting piles. And just trying not to till too much, but making sure everything's prepared. Like the boys and Rob will measure the rows and set out the stakes so that we can plant them efficiently in rows and things like that.
You plant that seed, it's in the ground. With love, water, and sunshine.
When you show children how to first plant, it's best to start with seeds that are easy to grow. And sunflower seeds are really rewarding because they have such a big flower and they produce a whole amount of seed. So to use our markers in a natural way, what we do is we put down the sunflowers, and you've seen the results, like how big and beautiful they grow. And it brings in all good things for the garden, like bees and birds. We're just trying to create a space so that the ground is nice and soft, so the roots of the peas can go in. But in this area, it's kind of like a desert in the summer, and everything's so dry. So when I do this, it gives the peas a good opportunity to take root
And the roots go deep and they catch the water.
This is what the peas look like when they sprout out of the earth. This one has been blown here by the wind and just decided to go in exactly the right spot for us. By June, we're starting to see the seedlings, which is always so rewarding, right? When you see life coming. You know, this year it was a little different because we didn't have much rain, and you really need the rain at that beginning stage to make everything pop, you know. So everything was a bit delayed because they didn't get their seedling stage rain in a way that we like to get it. But that's the luck of the draw. That's the mystery of nature, right? You never know what you're going to get each year. But there's always something, so it's fantastic.
The main garden area is just incredible. All the sunflowers, they look beautiful. And all these little flowers just came up.
You watch them grow. You feel it show. You watch them grow. You feel it show.
Yeah, scything is really important because it brings mulch to the garden, and it helps prevent the plants from dehydrating from drought, and it also acts as a fertilizer.
August to September, then we're doing more of the root vegetables, like we'll thin the carrots and have little baby carrots that we can cook into our stir fries or can if we want. And yeah, fully by the end of September, we'll have our full bountiful harvest in time for Thanksgiving.
So today is October the 6th, 2024, and this is Swiss chard, but what we like to do is we like to cover it because we get a lot of frost. You can see that we still have beets here that are alive. But the lettuce that is old, you can see that the frost is starting to kill the plant. And if you look at all our potato plants, the frost killed them all. We'll harvest some zucchinis now. Okay, today's October the 6th, 2024. This is the sort of final harvest before we're gonna pack it in here. We just have some smaller stuff we might try to grow, but this is the chapter of this year, and we're just gonna go have a little celebration and have some lunch.
Cold wind is blowing, leaves are falling down, changes in the season, changes all around.
Today is October the 6th, 2024, and this is our harvest for this year, and it was a very good year. And we're very thankful, and smile at the camera. Hopefully this is a good family picture for this year, guys. Love you lots. The chapter's closing, Jomo. Winter's coming soon. Time to play some music in the trains.
Prepare for the winter, prepare for spring. Before the killer frost is here. Prepare before the storm. The harvest before the storm.
Okay. If it's raining and you need something to do, just cut garlic and make meals for winter storage.
Your wildflowers blow your seeds through time. This message is here. Thank you. And do you like your homemade cooking?
And right here we have all frozen vegetables. Like we got bush beans, we have carrots, there's beets, there's beet greens. We have more of those, but this is a freezer that we have some of our soups that we put in, and we have stews, and we just store them in a Tupperware container. And we still have a lot of blanched vegetables, and these will last us a long time. We realized we enjoyed doing the garden more as a life than trying to trade our food for money. And it taught us a lot to get in the practice and the experience of actually making meals, drying out herbs for teas, and getting connected to, like, well, what if you were an ancient ancestor and you had to live off the land in this prairie? You know, it's kind of a challenge. So it's a goal we achieved, and I'm really happy about it. They're allowed to do whatever they want to try, or they don't have to be gardeners, but everybody has to eat, and everybody has to heal in some sort of way. And if they learn that they can grow their own food, and they can collect their own medicine from the garden, then they'll have a lot easier life, because they'll be strong when they're older and be able to pass that teaching on to their grandchildren.
So some people invest money, and we have invested time. We have invested time into our children. We have invested time into the land. And so we are very deeply connected with these things. And Rob has invested so much time with his music. So we're very connected with all of these things. And when you invest into the land, there's a bounty from it. There's something that can sustain and feed your family. It gives you nutrients that you will never be able to buy. It gives you an opportunity to work towards a common goal with your family, which is so important.
I trust people, you know, that are real, that look at me in the eyes and stuff. So when you guys approached me and you wanted to do a film, and it was like a live narrative of just what I'm doing and no smoke and mirrors, you know, I was really happy with that. And I was willing to share, you know, and it was kind of like a goal, like finally, yeah, somebody's looking at, you know, what we're doing from a grassroots perspective. I'm looking forward to playing music again and singing at the train station. I miss the hot climate of the summer and seeing all the flowers, but I like the crystals in the snow and seeing the spruce trees and hearing the songbirds sing in the trees, and it's going to be a good time.
And here's a song called Power of Creation. see the sunrise and watch it fall? Can you see the stars above us all? Can you feel the power that's within? Feel the energy begin. Together we will fly, together we will dance to see your love again. Oh, can you feel the power of our creation? Together we will dream, together we will sing to see your love again. But can you feel the power of creation? The Son, Mother, and Father give us life.